Happy New Year, Happy Valentine's, pahabol. Kung ang tikoy ay ang symbol ng Chinese New Year, ano naman ang symbol ng Valentine? Heart. Yeah. I have two hearts. Medyo sinita ko ng isang sister with a holy face. Sabi niya, Father, bakit hindi naman siya nag-heart ngayon? I said, hayaan na, kasi buwan ng puso ngayon. And tonight, the topic is about healing. All healings have to start with the heart. Kahit na masakit mo, kailangan tingnan natin ang pinagmumulan, ang cause ng sakit, ng sickness. Normally, it is the heart that is the culprit. And the funny thing about it is the heart is also the source of healing. So in effect, when you want to know Jesus, you have to know His heart. Yes na naman. And we have a beautiful theme from the letter I got. This year's theme is in line with the year of the Catholic laity, the Filipino Catholic laity, all to be saints sent forth as heroes. Sa Tagalog, taon ng mga laipo. Sa English, laity. Perhaps to remind us of what happened in Leyte, Tacloban, in Saka. Perhaps to connect us to the good news that is happening. That people have survived, people have been healed because of so much love, overwhelming love from many people all over the world. So in effect, love is the answer. I remember one of my favorite professors. Alam ko favorite ko siya, pero hindi ko na maalala yung kanyang pangalan. I called him Dr. Anonymous. One day, he told us in a group, do you remember the basic lesson that you learned in my class? And I said, yes. You taught us that there are three basic lessons, the triple L. Living, laughing, and loving. And the professor smiled and said, good. Now, which of the three do you think is the most important? And immediately I said, I think it's living. Because if you are not alive, you cannot laugh. And if you cannot laugh, you cannot enjoy the beauty of love. And without batting his eyes, he said, no, it's not. It's love. Because if you love, then you will be more alive. Then you can laugh from the heart. May tama ang professor. Bakit naman natin ipinagdiriwang ang February as the month of love? Well, we have to admit that the Roman civilization or culture has a great influence even in our Catholic Church. Particularly the Roman mythology. Look at the months, the names of the months of the year. Most of them they originated from Roman. And according to the story, the month of February is a month dedicated to the gods and goddesses of Mount Olympus. So one day, Venus, the queen, or the goddess of love and beauty, asked her son, Cupid, to offer a bunch of nectar to the gods of Mount Olympus. So Cupid being an obedient son, he went. Tumalima at daladala niya ang nektar paakyat sa bundok. Kaya na natisod siya at nahulog. Kasabay ng kanyang pagbagsak, natapon yung nektar. On the spot, kung saan natapon yung nektar, may sumibol ng pulang bulaklak. And they call that red rose. And since then, it has become the favorite flower of Venus, the goddess of love. And since then, it has become the symbol of love. Not only for Valentine, of course, but the year-round simbolo ng mga nagmamahalan, ng mga magsyota at ng mga magsyoto. The favorite flower is still red roses. But I know that you are more knowledgeable. The colors of the flower have also significance. For example, if you receive white flower, it symbolizes the purity of love and intention. If the flower is yellow, it symbolizes friendship. Kaya, friendship ang tawagan. Pero pag ang yellow flower mayroong red tips, that friendship is turning into love. An exclusive love called the love of Eros. Pag peach ang kulay, it signifies the willingness to get to know you more. The person is getting to like you. Now, if the color of the flower is burgundy, that is the favorite color of the senior citizens. Tingnan mo yung mga buhok nila. If the color is burgundy, it symbolizes the faded beauty. Beauty pa rin kahit na faded. But if you receive a flower or what you call violet, liturgical look, ibig sabihin, meron ng munting pagsisisi kung bakit nakilala ka. Kaya ang susunod yung black flower na, that means period, tapos na ang inyong relationship. Wala lang, trivia lang po yun. It is not necessary for our salvation and healing, but part of the Valentine trivia, you know, that you get to be informed. Kasi somehow, pag meron ka bagong alam mo, may advantage ka. Question, sino po ba sa inyo ang hindi nakatanggap ng flowers last Valentine? Except the sisters. Meron po bang hindi nakatanggap? Alam ko, mayroon. Nahihiya lang kayo kumamin. Alam ko, may halong tampo sa mga hindi nakatanggap. Ito naman ang sasabihin ko sa inyo, huwag na ho kayo magtampo. Be patient. Kunting panahon na lang, tatampakan kayo ng flowers. Tsak yun. At ang maganda yan, yung mga magdadala ng flowers sa inyo, libre pa makakape. So, joking aside, why was the flower the symbol of Valentine of love? Well, if Tikoy is the symbol of Chinese New Year, Valentine has so many symbols because love is powerful. We have Cupid, we have the heart, and now we have chocolate and all sweet things. Because many times the love ends up with sweet nothings. So that is the reason why you prefer to give something sweet and to receive something sweet. But this is not from a medical point of view. Lalo-lalo na sa mga sisters, alam ko napakahilig ng chocolates. Ayon sa medical study, the best chocolate is black. Kasi pag black chocolate yun, kasi 80%, 60 to 80% of chocolates are made from cocoa. Alam naman natin cocoa. I have a very personal knowledge of cocoa because my mother has a plantation of cocoa. Kaya I will do the harvesting kasi that is her favorite drink. Every morning, particularly with Saturday and Sunday, she would prepare rich cocoa drink for breakfast. Kaya hindi ka nakataka. My mother did not die of heart problem, but she died of diabetes. Sa sobrang tamis, sobrang asukal na kanyang iniinom dahil sa cocoa. But if you take the black chocolate, may halo pait yun, there's bitter, but there is the part of the curative or the healing part of it. So in life, if there is something bitter, that means there is a sign of healing. Kailan ka ba nagiging bitter? Kung napag-iwanan ka, kung naisan ka, di ba? So if you learn to swallow that bitterness, then you begin to understand the mystery of the cross. But our tendency is to spit it out. Sino sa atin ang may first love sa ampalaya? Di ba? Amargoso ang tawag ng mga kasiya. Kasi it is bitter by nature, amargoso, mapait. Pero sa kanyang kamahitan na dudulot na kagalingan. Kaya marami kayong kumakain na ampalaya. Kasi yung mga may problema sa high blood, sugar, at it is also an antioxidant. One of the very productive, medically speaking, vegetable that we have. So, the year of the 20 speaks of the call and the mission, but we also remember that this is also the year of the three popes, because maybe you have heard already that by April, last Sunday of April, for the first time in our history, two popes, former popes, will be canonized at the same day. Well, first of all, in order to be canonized, you have to be dead. Normally, hindi natin tayo nagka-canonize na buhay, except for the Holy Father. Buhay pa siya, ang tawag na natin sa kanya, Santo Papa. So, holiness has something to do with our mission with God and our connection with God. Connectivity. And the readings today speak of that powerful connection in prayer. Parang nagkamali ako ng pagbasa ng gospel. Pero, tinuloy ko na lang kasi by coincidence, this also has a reference to our third pope, the present pope today. As you know, he was baptized Jorge Mario Bergoglio. He was chosen, elected as pope last 13th of March, malapit na anniversary, last year. And he was installed, anointed as the vicar of Christ on earth on the 19th of March, at the feast of St. Joseph. And during his first conference with the media people, he knew that that question would be asked. Why did you choose the name Francis? Kasi itong Pope natin, he has so many firsts in his name. The first non-European, the first non-Italian, although his father was an Italian migrant, but Mario Bertoli was born in Buenos Aires. So the first Pope coming from a third world. And that gives us hope. Kasi malapit na. South America, Asia, third world. Kaya marami ang nagdadasal na sana susunod ay si Cardinal Tagle naman. O diba? I mentioned Cardinal Tagle because his name came up during the synod of October 2012. He was one of the key speakers during the Synod of the Bishops. That synod was called for to prepare for the agenda, which is the new evangelization. And one of the Vatican writers, Alan, will be coming to the Philippines next month. He mentioned that incidentally, this bright cardinal of the Philippines, Asia, mentioned three things, three qualities that we need for new evangelization today, both for clergy, religious, and laity. And he said, these three qualities are unity, simplicity, and the capacity to enter into silence. And that was remembered on the night that Pope Francis was elected. When he came out the window, remember that for hours the people had been waiting for the white smoke to come out from the Sistine Chapel. Apat na beses itim na usok. The people was wala pa. And finally, on the fifth balloting, the white smoke came out. And spontaneously the people said, Habemus Papa! And true enough, a white figure came out, only white, because Pope Francis refused to wear the red coat that used to be worn by newly elected popes. Already, he was a controversial pope by not following the tradition. And we begin to know why, because he was pretty consistent. And so, his first greeting was also a surprise. When he greeted the people coming from different countries in Italian, he said, Buonasera! Good evening! Kumbaga sa Tagalog, magandang gabi, madlang people. Nagulat sa mga kapwa. Ibang klase ito Ibang galing. And then he said, I know that you expect the new Bishop of Rome. Hindi niya sinabing Pope. He prefers to be called the Bishop of Rome. Andun yung kanyang humility, simplicity. And he said, you expect the new Bishop of Rome to bless you? Sure, I will do that. But before you have to pray over me. Ipagdasal mo muna ako para maibigay ko yung blessing ni Lord sa inyo. And he immediately bowed his head. And the people were, whispering. And suddenly there was a grand silence. The people obeyed the wishes of the newly elected board to pray, to enter into silence, and to pray for his man that he may fulfill his mission. And so he blessed the people and he said, may I say good night? Alam ko it is already past 10. Marami sa inyo, pagod na. Anyway, we will be seeing each other again for many times. And the people could not help themselves but applaud hope. There is something new. Kakaiba ang dating. He makes a difference. But clearly, that humility, simplicity, and the prayer for silence were there. Back to the interview, when he faced the media, he was expecting the question, why did you choose Francis? And he said, well, maybe I will understand. Some of you think being Jesuit that I will choose my fellow Jesuit saint, Francis Xavier, who baptized so many thousands of children up to Asia and Japan, patron of the missions. And he also made a crack. His sense of humor was also present. Of course, he didn't say it publicly, but later he said, one of the cardinals was suggesting that I should take the name Clement in honor of the Pope Clement. You know who was Pope Clement in the history of the church? He was the Pope who suppressed the Jesuits. And this guy was smiling. He said, look at his holy face. I'm sure you're wondering why I chose Francis. Yes, it is Francis of Assisi. In the gospel that I read today, it's the antidote of that young man who was saddened because he could not embrace what Jesus was telling him. If you want to be perfect, go and sell your belongings and give the money to the poor. Francis of Assisi accepted the challenge. And look what happened. He became not only the prophet of his times, but up to now, he is still considered the saint who was closest to Jesus, who was nearest, who was like Jesus in many ways, not only for his stigma that he was received, but his lifestyle, his oneness with the Father, his love for creation, and the healing that he has brought to humankind and to the world by his prayer, by his presence, by his witnessing. No wonder we have a different hope. And in this little book, I hope you will take hold. This is authored by John Allen. He will be coming over next month. He will be our guest in Tagaytay, the 50th anniversary of the Divine Word Seminary. Together with Cardinal Tagle, they will host a very interesting dialogue on the 13th of March. John Allen said, by the way, he also wrote the biography of the other Pope and also Pope Francis. He said, there are 10 things that Pope Francis wants you to know. I hope you will just buy the book, otherwise I will speak for 2 hours. Let me just single out the first, the 9th, and the 10th. The first thing that Pope Francis wants us to know, he said, I wish and pray that we will have a poor church for the poor. Ang ating simbahan daw ay magkaroon ng puso para sa mga maralita, sa mga maliliit, sa mga mahihirap. Following the spirituality of Francis. And the second is humility. The 9th is sense of humor. I wish that the church, especially the religious, would recover that sense of humor, which is a necessary ingredient for holiness. Because what we find today are people with sad faces. And even the young people, many times will tell me, Father, gusto ko sana magpare. Sabi naman sa gusto ko rin magmadre. Ano problema nyo? Maraming masungit na madre. Sa mukha pa lang ibig sabihin, hindi sila holy face. At meron din mga masungit na pare kasi mga matandang binata. So that is also, that becomes an obstacle, it becomes a problem. Because people sense what kind of a heart you have with that face that you have and you wear. Kaya importante, tama, si Pope Francis, and of course the text that he wants us to know, to pray, isulong natin ang pagkakaisa, unity. And that unity can only be brought about by prayer. Humble, generous prayer from the heart. An expectant faith, knowing that our God, with God, nothing is impossible. So the healing begins in the heart, where the problem lies. And the heart will lead us to the heart of Jesus that reflects the holy face that we revere and worship. May this novena help us to come to a greater understanding of the mysterious healing love of Jesus for each one of us and for humankind today.